For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or cheap games on any platform, use the referral link in the description. It'll take you to g2a.com. Use the promo code CHES over there and you'll get yourself 3% cash back. For all No Identity merchandise, hats, hoodies and t-shirts, follow the link in the description down below to the No Identity Fan Fibre website. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 22 of Season 3 here in the career mode RTG. If you missed the last episode, watch that before watching this one. Of course, there will be spoilers here for what happened in the season finale, and to avoid any spoilers, head over and watch that video first. It was so intense. It's the whole title race or automatic promotion race here in the Championship was absolutely incredible. So close between ourselves, Middlesbrough and Watford throughout the entirety of the second half of this season. Head over and watch that video first. I'll give you a couple of seconds to go ahead and do so to make sure that I don't spoil anything for you. In this video, we'll be rounding up everything that happened this season and having a look at the competitions that we were involved in, who won those, who won in the other larger leagues around Europe, and of course the World Cup is ongoing as well in this save currently, because of course whilst it's Season 3 in the series, it's Season 2 in-game in the save, because I had to rebuild the save after a year when I accidentally overwrote it, of course. But we've been able to put that behind us. We've gone 2 seasons since then, and everything has completely changed, so it's not to worry. We've gone on from strength to strength, and hopefully those of you that were here previously and will have gone and watched the previous episode before jumping here, because, spoilers, we won the Championship this season on goal difference ahead of Middlesbrough by plus 13. Watford, 3 points behind the two of us on 94 points. They could have won the title, Watford, with 4 games to go. They had, well, no, as we had 2 games to go, they had 4 games to go, and they lost 2 of their games in hand. They lost 2 of their final 4 games. They could have won the league themselves by 3 points, which would have meant that Middlesbrough would have come third, and we would have finished second. But as it happens, we win the title, finishing top with 30 wins, 7 draws and 9 defeats, 86 goals for, 34 against. Best defensive record in the league by 1 from Watford themselves, and the best goal-scoring record in the league as well by 4 ahead of Middlesbrough, and obviously goal difference was vastly superior too. Unfortunately, Sheffield United, Blackburn Rovers and Wigan Athletic all relegated by a single point. Bolton can thank their lucky stars that they managed to pick up 38 points, because that was just as the title race and automatic promotion race was super tight, as was the relegation battle, as you can see there. Incredible. All on 37 points, and then Bolton on 38, survived by the skin of their teeth. We'll have a look at some of the other competitions that went down this year. We'll also see who did what in the playoffs as well. I think Swansea win the FA Cup by 2-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. That's a turn up for the books. They beat us, of course, in a replay to get to the FA Cup final. Aston Villa win the Football League Cup by 2-1 against Arsenal. 2 unexpected winners in the domestic cups this year. Watford, not only did they throw automatic promotion away, they lost on penalties in the playoff final as well. They must be ruining everything they've done for the past 4 weeks in this save. Watford could have won the title, end up finishing outside the automatic promotion spots, then losing at Wembley on penalties to Burnley. Unbelievable. Levante won our pre-season tournament. Atletico Madrid won the European Super Cup after they won the Champions League last year. And Sporting Club de Portugal won the Europa League. We'll have another flick around in a moment when the game actually decides to catch up with me, and we'll be able to see what's going on in the World Cup at this particular stage. We're not involved in international management to this point in our career. I'm not planning on going into international management in this save. So I don't think we'll be involved in the World Cup or the Euros for 2020 either, or the World Cup in 2022, should we go that far. But if things change in due course, then I might consider it. If you guys would like to see me play in in international competitions. Bayern München win the Champions League by 5 penalties to 4 against Real Madrid. Huge result for them. Bayern battering Arsenal in the semi-finals, just as they battered Arsenal in the round of 16 in real life. 5-1 on that particular occasion, over 2 legs rather than just the one. PSG knocked out by penalties by Real Madrid, so they won on pens in the semis and then lost on pens in the final itself. Heading across to the Europa League momentarily when the game actually catches up. Does your game do this as well? Like, as you head through a save, just the menus become so slow to change from slate to slate. Barcelona knocking out Chelsea, unfortunately. I'm really intrigued to see how we're going to get on in the Premier League next season. You'll have to let me know in the comment section down below how you think we're going to get on in the Premier League. Where do you think we'll finish? Will we be able to finish in the top half? Will we be in a relegation battle? Will we be mid-table obscurity? Will we either be potentially challenging for Europa League spot? I've absolutely no idea what's going to go down in the next season, but one thing I am for sure is that my game appears to have frozen on me, so I'll be right back. In the Europa League, Everton were successful also on penalties. There's just been nothing to split between everybody in these finals. Everton win by 4-3 against Atleti, who obviously won the Champions League last year, but clearly knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League this year and found themselves in the Europa League, but losing in the final. This is the state of the World Cup. After one game played in the group stages, Spain atop of theirs. Spain, Italy, Uruguay, Bulgaria. Very tough group with Spain, Italy and Uruguay in there. France, Chile, Scotland, Canada. You'd expect the French and the Chileans to get out of that. Germany, Austria, Colombia, Australia. Germany and Colombia perhaps to get out of that one. Greece, Argentina, Romania and India. Argentina being held to a 0-0 draw by Romania. GG. Greece actually with a win over India, only by a slim margin, actually put themselves in a great position to qualify from that group. Belgium, Cameroon, Switzerland, Turkey is the other one. You'd expect Belgium, and I'd have said Switzerland, but they lost to Cameroon, so Cameroon looking more likely to qualify there. Wales, England, Mexico, South Africa. Wales top after a 2-1 win against South Africa, but England and Mexico yet to play. Portugal, Poland, China and Egypt. You'd expect Portugal and Poland to get through that group. Brazil, Netherlands, Sweden and the Ivory Coast. Question, would that be the group of death? Well, actually, I think that's the group of death, isn't it? Spain, Italy and Uruguay. But Brazil, Netherlands, Sweden and the Ivory Coast. It's not going to be easy to get out of that one either, but you would expect the South Americans and the Europeans to make it through that particular stage. That's how things went down in the competitions we were involved in. Asoro did win the Golden Boot, but only because he went nuts in the final two games that we played. He won the Golden Boot by a single goal ahead of Jordan Rhodes, who was two clear of Amrabat. Now, do we have any other Cambridge players in this top list? I don't think anyone else really scored a hatful of goals. Lozano there on 11. I think Jamie McLaren scored 5 or 6. Not that many, but top goal scorers. Joel Asoro takes the Golden Boot. Assist-wise, Chavalaran with 10. And he didn't play that often. Chavalaran wasn't a first-team player, so fair play to him. 10 assists, 9 for Navarrete on the right-hand side. Lozano got 7, which is decent. So he got goals and assists, so contributed to a few more than he did last season with regards assists, I think. I don't think he got that many assists last year. Jamie McLaren with 6 assists too. Clean sheets, Hamilton only the 14 doesn't get the Golden Glove. In fact, it's Scott Carson that gets that in the Championship this year, and he was fantastic against us when we played Derby. We got 2 1-1 draws against Derby this year, so fair play to them. Scott Carson was absolutely brilliant between the sticks. Unfortunately, not good enough to help them win the playoffs. It was 4th place Burnley that won that. We'll have a quick look at the other leagues. We'll see who will be joining in the Premier League and who we won't be playing, who got relegated out of the Premier League this season. We'll have a look at the other larger leagues around Europe, as we tend to do. See who will be involved in Champions League football. Manchester United win the Premier League by 2 points from City, by 4 from Liverpool, from a further 2 from Arsenal. Chelsea only in 5th. Make your own jokes about Arsenal finishing 4th. Spurs in 6th. We will not be playing next season Sheffield Wednesday, Norwich or Cardiff City. Cardiff only able to pick up 16 points from 38 games. But we will be playing West Brom, Sunderland, Southampton and everybody up from there. Aston Villa there in the Premier League again, of course, and Newcastle there finishing 9th. No real shock inclusions in the Premier League table or shock finishes other than perhaps Chelsea down in 5th. But that was mainly because they drew so many. They only lost 6, but not the best of seasons. Really good defensive record as well. Only 29 goals conceded. In fact, they had, judging by the goals scored and goals against, they had a very good season, but just drawing far too many games, unfortunately for them. In the Championship, obviously we know what happened there. We won the league. In League 1, Bristol City won with 102 points from Birmingham. One of Huddersfield, Millwall, Coventry and Burton will be joining them in the Championships next season. Exeter, Doncaster, Walsall and Luton relegated from League 1 into League 2. Promoted from League 2, Scunthorpe, Rochdale and Plymouth. one of Mansfield, Colchester, Wickham or Wimbledon will be joining him in the Premier League, and finishing rock bottom of the Football League this season were Grimsby Town. You thought 16 points from 38 games was bad enough for Cardiff. Grimsby Town, 16 points from 46 games. Unbelievable. They lost 36 of their 46. Like, that's an outstanding achievement for Grimsby to be that bad in League 2, which is normally a very level playing field with regards to the majority of the teams, conceding 86 goals, which actually wasn't the worst. Cheltenham conceded 89. How do you concede that many goals in a year? That's remarkable. In France, Monaco won Liga by 12 points from Paris Saint-Germain. That's a turn up for the books. Stade Rennais there in third as well, with Lyon only in fourth. Marseille down in ninth. Unexpected. What wasn't unexpected was Bayern München winning the Bundesliga. Might have been unexpected was the size of the gap. 17 points to Schalke 04 with Borussia Dortmund and Borussia Mönchengladbach there in third and fourth respectively. Leverkusen and Wolfsburg down in fifth and sixth. Again, unexpectedly, Juventus win Serie A by 3 points. Napoli and Roma finishing second and third. Then the two Milans, AC and Inter in fourth and fifth. Not really a surprise there. You would expect Juventus to win and would expect Napoli to finish second, I would have thought. So, as you might have expected in Italy. Now, Spain, I'm not sure who's going to have done what in Spain, because none of the Spanish big teams did well in the Champions League. Actually, saying that, Atleti did lose in the final, and I think it was Real Madrid in the final as well, wasn't it, with Bayern Munich. So perhaps I've been a little bit preemptive there. But Rangers win in the SPL, and Real Madrid win by 9 points in La Liga ahead of Atleti. Barcelona lost 10 games. 10! That's unlike Barcelona. Finishing third, Valencia in fourth, Sevilla and Villarreal rounding out the top six. Our former team in the My Player Series, Real Betis, up in eighth though. Congratulations to them. Let's end then with a final squad report of this. Actually, no, let's have a look at the board expectations. How do we do there? And then we'll end with a squad report to round out the final squad report of the season and round up the season all told. And in fact, I just saw my wage budget there shot up from 140 grand to £882,000. So there's definitely been some money added into the wage budget there, although... No, that's really strange. It's literally just going from wage budget to transfer budget. Now, it should be a lot different to that. You would have thought if I had 800 grand in the wage budget, transfer it to the transfer budget, it normally doesn't go up like for like, but that's exactly what it's doing. So it's kind of glitched there. I apologise. I thought we'd somehow, out of nowhere, gotten ourselves absolutely loads of cash, but it appears we haven't. So the transfer budget is as it was. Really strange that it did that. Anyway, the board overview as a whole, only a 74 manager rating despite winning the championship and going up to the Premier League, because we didn't reduce the wage bill, we actually added to it quite dramatically. Normally we get rid of players, because we had the same criteria last year, and we got rid of players before bringing players in, and we met the player reduce or wage budget reducing before then boosting it back up again. This time we boosted it back up before knocking it down slightly, but still we're above the level that it was at before the season started. We also didn't sign one youth start that again. We did sign youth players, but we didn't play them in 5 matches, unfortunately. We matched one of the criteria, though, the short-term one. Signed at least 2 players younger than 20 years old with potential greater than players already in that position. The long-term one, increased season ticket holders with at least 10%. That will probably update next season once we head into Season 4, and we'll almost certainly have guaranteed that one. Financially, again, didn't reduce the wage bill, and we met both expectations with regards to domestic success. Nothing continental, of course, because we're in the Championship, so can't be involved in Europe. Right then, a final season's squad report, shall we? Although I need a drink first. Right, Shane Hamilton, bearing in mind we've not been training him at all, is up 7 ratings this season. He's 20 years old, valued at £34 million. Kicking is now maxed out at 99 and has been for a while. Diving at 84, reflexes 81, handling 79, positioning 76, which continues to improve. I didn't think he'd grow this well without training. Only 14 clean sheets in 41 games though. That probably says something about my defending, doesn't it? More so than his ability in goal. Jonathan Cooper, we have been training, and he's up to 76 rated. Still only 16 years of age as well. So I might actually just halt training both my goalkeepers and start to train my outfield players, because clearly they're both good enough to be able to do the job right now. Bradley Halliday is up 7 to 76 this year. His physicals continue to explode, and his technicals are still growing absolutely everywhere. Unbelievable. 42 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's right back. He's rock solid. He'll be just as solid in the Premier League for us. John Mason up 5 to 73. Very, very good technically. Would like his physicals to grow a little bit more, but I don't think we really need to improve at right back for next season. I'm quite happy with the 2 players we have there for our first year in the Premier League. At centre back, Davinson Sanchez came in this season and has played 34 games for us in all comps with 11 clean sheets, up 2 to 75. Growing across the board as well. Very, very good. His strength is also up 2, which is brilliant. Jake Clark-Salter up 5 to 79 at just 20 years of age. 11 clean sheets for him as well. I'm not sure whether they'll be my starting pairing next year because Elliot Bennett is up to 77 rated now. So he's actually higher than Davinson Sanchez. Not as strong, but better in the tackle. Not as good on the ball either. Actually, not much difference between them on the ball, really. Yeah, not as good on the ball. I've just seen that Davinson Sanchez got short passing of 76. So he's not quite as good on the ball. But you guys will have to let me know. Do I play Elliot Bennett in the starting lineup now and perhaps stop training him? Because his technicals are already looking pretty decent. Do I stop training him and then just play him and hope that he grows naturally, which he should do, being 17 years of age and 77 rated already? You guys will have to let me know. Harry Darling up to 68 overall now, +5. I've not trained him at all this year. He's just growing exponentially too. Bailey Wright up 2 to 74. He was free this year, played 23 games for us. Still going to be a good rotation player. Now, left back is a position I would consider improving in. Nico Gieselman feels threatened, apparently. Feels he may have been replaced. I've not bought a left back since we brought in Rico Henry. And to be fair, he's played more than twice as many games as Rico Henry. So I don't know why he feels threatened. He might feel threatened because he knows I'm considering signing another left back. I might sell Gieselman and train Rico Henry. Although Gieselman's been so good for me, it would be a shame to let him go. But we might need to improve at left back for Premier League. 72 and 70 aren't really high enough ratings to be able to compete. Although Gieselman is very effective for us. So I'll take your feedback on the left back situation. In central midfield, let's just quickly scroll there so we can get them all in view. Andre Petrak up 1 to 72. Going to be selling him next season. We're bringing in, of course, 2 new central midfielders, holding midfielders. We're also switching the formation from a 4-4-2 to a 4-2-3-1 next year. So we're going to have 2 new holding midfielders coming in, Benyat and Hernan. We also have a number of other central midfielders that will probably be leaving us next year. Petrak, one of those. Ewan Watson, I'll try and send on loan, perhaps. Growing quite well at 62 rated, up 4. Has the potential to get to the late 80s, early 90s. Lino Navarrete, now 84 rated at 20 years of age. Ball control and dribbling, 99. Crossing of 94, finishing of 77 now, and that's what we've been concentrating on recently, is just his finishing. His finishing and his shot power, and he's shot up another couple of rates. He was 82 rated, and I've just trained his finishing. That's gone up 5, and his over rating has gone up 2 because of that. Valued at £53.5 million. Outstanding talent. He's going to be played at Cam next year as well. You imagine a Cam, 77 finishing. If I can keep training his finishing and maybe his long shots as well. Unbelievable. Unbelievable player. 6 goals, 10 assists for him this year from the right-hand side of midfield, and a 4-4-2 is decent. Trippets will be leaving us, unfortunately for him, because, of course, we're bringing in Alessandrini on a free from Marseille. Chavlaran, despite getting 11 assists in all comps and being my highest assisted player, I'm probably going to be selling Chavlaran at 27 years of age and 71 rated. Luke Berry, I will keep at the club. One of Cambridge's best players in real life, and it doesn't make sense to sell everybody. It might be nice to keep hold of at least one player from the original squad at Cambridge, even though he only played 16 games this season. Nicola Greco on the left-hand side, continuing to grow as well. I'm not training him anymore, and he's still growing really well, up 7 to 82 rated at 19 years of age, 4 goals, 8 assists. It's just a shame that he's quite small and not very strong. He's only 5'7". Still does have the 5-star skill moves and the 4-star weak foot, but he doesn't weigh much at only £139. And he's just not very strong. I would very much like him to bulk up if possible. Strength is up 3, which means it was even worse earlier on in the season. Hugo Wiedemont still doing well for me as a rotation player on the left-hand side. I might consider bringing in a new winger, but it all depends on what our budget is next year. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm going to concentrate on training him this year because I want him to play alongside Benyat in the holding roles. Yes, he's down as a cam by default, but he can play at centre mid. And if I train, his tackling is already not that bad. If I concentrate on his training, and his tackling, then we could really make him a force in a holding role, and he'd kind of be more of a creative player in that holding role, alongside someone more solid like Benyat, which is kind of similar to what I like to see players or teams do in real life. I like to have, obviously you've got the cam that is effective in the front four with the two wingers and the striker, but I always like to have personally one holding midfielder and one creative midfielder still in a holding role, so they can play the deep passes rather than the intricate ones further up like the cam might. So that's my planning ahead of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. To let you know as well, the thumbnail will be updated from episode 1 of season 4, including Ruben Loftus-Cheek on it as well. So it's going to have Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Anthony Lozano. They were the two players that were most popular with regards your guys' suggestions for the new thumbnail, and that will be in use as of tomorrow. Corbinian Folman, his physicals still grow, but he doesn't feel 95 acceleration quick. I will be honest, he genuinely doesn't. I'll probably keep hold of him for now, just purely because of the fact that his physicals are so good and he'll be a great impact player off the bench, but it's not going to be that heavily involved for me next year. Tyler Brown, really want his physicals to improve. Desperate for his physicals to improve, because he could become so good if he gets quicker, if he gets stronger, if he becomes more agile and gets better balance and stamina. But right now, he's kind of unusable at this particular stage. Felipe Zedos, very, very good for me this year. Really enjoy playing with him, actually. 30 games played, 4 goals, 4 assists, up 2 overall. He's unhappy presently. Feels the management is poor. I don't know why, probably because he's not been playing as many games as he might like. But when you've got an 84 rated 20-year-old, you're kind of going to play him first, aren't you? Sorry, Zedos. He'll still be rotating next year with Alessandrini on the right-hand side. And then, actually, we've got any left wingers? I don't, do I? At striker, of course, we are going to be playing just the one striker next season. Joel Asoro's physicals, unreal. 99 acceleration, 99 sprint speed. 87 at finishing. His heading accuracy is up 12. Short passing up 13. He's growing exponentially. 78 rated at 20 years of age. Valued at £17.5 million. My top goal scorer this year, 25 in 36, 23 in 30 in the Championship. Instrumental to us winning the league this year, and will undoubtedly start as my #1 striker next year. However, despite the fact he's insecure, Anthony Lozano still did okay this year. Only 11 goals, but 9 assists as well. So he's still contributing. You see, only the 3 assists in the league for Asoro, but 7 for Lozano. So he's still contributing to a goal, whether he's scoring it or assisting it, every other game in total. So I'm very pleased with Lozano. And like I say, he'll be joining Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the thumbnail as of tomorrow's episode. Jamie McLaren actually scored 16 goals in all comps, but 5 of them came in pre-season. 9 in 26 though, and 6 assists in the Championship. So to be fair, he's probably going to play just as important a role for us as Lozano did this year and last year, to be fair. So I actually really like Jamie McLaren. Emery Moore is on loan. Quite decent goal scoring record, but having or planning on changing the formation to 4-2-3-1, not really going to need him that much in the second year. He is a 2-year loan, so he'll be with us next season, but purely just cover next year rather than playing on a fairly consistent basis in the starting 11. I will quickly show you the youth players that I currently have at the club, and you'll have to let me know whether I should call any of them up to the starting lineup, or not to the starting lineup, but into the first team squad. We have another goalkeeper, Aidan Watson, potential of 91 to 94. Obviously, we don't need a goalkeeper, but he might be brilliant to sell on. Or maybe I could sell on the other young goalkeeper we've got and keep this guy. You'll have to let me know, because of course the other young goalkeeper we've got, Turner, we could sell him on, raise the money, and then have this guy come in and just fill the rotation slot where Turner is now. Because Turner, I don't think, has actually even played for me because Hamilton has been so good. Charlie Edwards, I've been training him, potential of 81 to 87. I'm hoping it'll be towards the upper reaches of that. I have been training his finishing, but he's still only 54 rated overall. His physicals are okay, but again, it's going to need a lot of growth from him. Another player, though, with potential of 91 to 94 is Aidan Murphy. It's still only 15, so plenty of time for him to grow. 51 rated, though, which is pretty poor right now, but like we say, plenty of room for growth. Stand tackle's already half decent, actually, at 15, and I'll leave him in the youth squad until he's at least 17, just to see how well he grows. But that is the situation we find ourselves in at the end of season number 3. Join me tomorrow in season number 4. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any future content, which will of course be coming to you from the Premier League. How do you reckon we can do? Let me know in the comment section down below. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.